The Last of Us, developed by Naughty Dog, was released in 2013 and has had a lifespan of 10 years over 3 different consoles. The latest release for PS5 was a complete overhaul of graphics and basically put the original game into the Last of Us Part 2 engine. Now you would think that since this is just a graphics overhaul that Naughty Dog would sell this game for a cheaper price because it's the same game from 2013. Nope, this game is being sold for $70, which is $10 more than when the first game released.
Are you stupid or something?
I'm as stupid as stupid does.
Before we talk about anything in this game, I want to put a big spoiler warning to anyone who hasn't played this game before. Now obviously the biggest change with this remake is how the entire game looks like it was released on the next gen consoles, and I have to give credit to Naughty Dog for how well they did this. The game just looks absolutely incredible. Comparing it to the remastered PS4 version, you can obviously tell there's a big difference between the two games, and the remake looks absolutely fantastic. Especially with the lighting in the remake reframing how everything looks and starts to make this world a lot more lived in and not just any other basic apocalyptic background. There's no better way to describe how the graphics look than just by saying that everything is just extremely polished and set to the standards of today's games, and I think that this helps elevate the story even more than in the last versions of the game. Having the new and improved graphics really starts to elevate how well this story was told and puts a lot more emotion into each scene.
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay.
Not only was the graphics updated, but so is the actual gameplay itself, but not by a lot. There are some nice updates, but this game still plays exactly how it did in the previous versions as well. One thing I did enjoy was how the game plays very similar to how it does in The Last of Us Part 2, and I think it was a great addition because when playing both games back to back, you never feel like you're playing two different games. The Last of Us Part 1 remake has been a really interesting game to play only because it's the same game as before. The remake does a great job updating the game to today's standards, but there's nothing extremely different from the past two versions to make this game a $70 game. I think the best way to have sold this game was to at least lower this price to the $40 to $50 range, because marketing this game to be a complete remake and then charging $10 more than the original's game price is just a really baffling choice as to why Naughty Dog thought this was a good idea to do. If you haven't played The Last of Us before, I highly recommend it, and I think the best two options to play the game are by either playing the remastered version of the game or waiting for the remake to be on sale, because I definitely would not recommend buying this remake for $70.